morning, and welcome to, what are we in? Monday. Yes, it is. A really good weekend all round. Good time with mates. Yesterday I went hiking. So this week, when I went hiking, I took a 15 kilogram, 30 something pounds on the back and hiked. It's great. Good cardio. Legs get tired from it, which is nice. Probably the point. But yeah, just a beautiful morning out. And some work around the house. Yesterday afternoon to watch a bit of videos and things. And then this morning, so I wake up at 4 o'clock, get up for the Lakers game. Lakers are playing the Trailblazers. So start watching the game, and LeBron scores a couple off the bat, but then by half time, the Lakers are pummeled. They're like 20 something behind. I'm like, oh my God. So I decided, let me go train. I was going to play it off, but let me go and train. Didn't want to train. I think this is the point. Didn't really want to train. I was a little bit like, eh. So I stayed in my shoes for a while. I'm like, you know what? Fucking just harden up, cupcake, and just go. So ended up training, really good training session. Couple of PBs, which consistency shows. And then I turned the game on, and they've pulled it back and they won. So great comeback win. And then I was waiting. My car's in for the panel beater, so Johan came to fetch me to come to work. But this whole training thing, this whole physical activity thing, it blows my mind still, and I'm going to hop on about this, that people don't get it. It is not just about looking good. It's about feeling good. It's about anxiety. It's about all of these things. I sleep better. My anxiety is better. My focus is better. And funny enough, then I open LinkedIn, and literally the first feed that comes up is a TED talk on the neuroscience or something of exercise and the upside of what exercise does for you. And there's lists and lists. I've had in my newsletter as well. So it's been great. And I was speaking to Johan this morning coming in. He's been training well, and it's unusual for us to have this kind of consistency, because normally we're training, right? You're training for 3 weeks, then off you go, and you're going on a trip for 7 weeks. You come back for 2 weeks, you try and catch up, but you're playing catch up, and so on and so forth. It can be hard. So the consistency right now is amazing, and it feels so good, and everything is just better for it. There is no excuse. People complain about, I'm so unfit and I can't get in shape. Well, whose fault's that? Whose fault's that? You need to start doing the work. It really is that easy, right? It really is that easy. I actually said that in a tweet. Something like, so if you're out of shape and unfit, whose fault do you think it is? And people actually came at me for it. They came at me for it, and it's like, well, yeah, but this and but that and that. But you're making excuses. We all have shitty deals, but do the work. The best analogy I ever heard is, you want to lose weight, and people start. It's New Year's now. What are we on? 23rd of Jan. I'm sure people's New Year's resolutions are shot to pieces already. But you go for a run, you come back, you look in the mirror, nothing's changed. You go for another run tomorrow, you look in the mirror, nothing's changed. 4 days, nothing. 5 days, nothing. 3 weeks, you don't see anything. And then suddenly after about 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks, suddenly you see a change. It's that consistency that matters. If anything, that's it. The consistency matters. You could probably do anything. If you do it consistently, something will change. It will. You know this. Deep down, you know this. Same with nutrition. All these different fads. Just do something consistently, it'll work. Anyway, so training's going really good. Loving it. So sore, but it feels great. Stop. I like it. You know what I mean? Then I started down an interesting road this morning while I was waiting for Johan. I started reading some papers. I've got emails and stuff, research papers and stuff coming in. And it's kind of my things to chew on. I don't spend time on Instagram scrolling. I go and read these things. And there was an argument that one, I don't know if it was a professor or a psychologist or someone trying to make. And I buy into it, but I don't know the details yet. But how, if you have anger and rage at times, how it can be a good thing. So I've spoken about this in the past. The dark psychology, shadow work. So I've done this with a couple of clients. We're still doing this. I kind of dig into that every once in a while, especially when it's training, when I'm lifting heavy. To go angry, rage, borderline, right? But I'm digging into this in a bit for this week. Kind of just looking to see how you can target anger and rage to make it productive. Don't go beat the shit out of the dog. Bad. Don't do that, right? But to be able to channel that negative energy into making something constructive, I believe it's possible. I've done it myself. I've seen it happen with clients. The only thing you need to be aware of, though, and exercise for me is a good way to do that. It really is. Don't take anger and rage into a relationship or conflict at work or whatever it might be. Not necessarily good unless you know you can control it. The difficult thing with controlling that kind of emotion, anger and rage, is you and me, all of us, we have to be able to check ourselves and be aware of our influence on our own headspace and those around us. Many people are very disconnected from this, but it's very important to be able to see who you are, what you're doing to yourself and to other people. Now, you can't see a reflection in boiling water. Make sense? So when that water starts boiling and you're about to pop from a rage point of view, it's very difficult to see the reflection of who you are, what you're doing to yourself and to others. If we can bridge that, and look, I'll probably touch on this again, doing a bit of a deep dive, but if we can fix that, then we're onto something interesting. If you can manage to embrace the anger and rage sometimes, but aim it at the right thing, even though you know you can't see the reflection of who you are because of the reflection boiling water thing, there's something interesting to me there. And like I said, I've used it in sport when I used to compete. I've used it in my training. Even this morning, woke up kind of like meh. But when I got to training and I had to go for a PB on bench press to try and rep out a really heavy weight, I went into a place and I used it. So I do think there's value. Don't just get angry and do shit. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think there's an interesting conversation that I'm going to scratch at here. Anyway, for now, I am going to get going now because I need to do a quick podcast. And then this week on the Wild Eye podcast, I am going to be chatting to every single person in the office. I'm going to get them into the studio here. We're going to have half an hour conversation, just about anything, just to give people who travel with us and who work with these people on a daily basis, give them an idea of who the people are. I think it's a great thing. I'm also thinking on my podcast, so what I've done is I've taken the morning coffee audio and I used to put that on there. It's an easy way just to keep it ticking. I'm taking some of these videos and I'm putting it on there, but I'm also I'm looking at also taking time and just doing standalone episodes, thinking about that. Anyway, I'm going to get going. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you soon. I've got a lot of studio time today, so I'm going to get going. Have a good one. Bye.